Hi, this is Guy. I started doing pest control professionally in 1981. And over the years, I learned a few things that I'd like to share with you. What I'd like to share with you today is how you can treat your lawn and your yard for a variety of pests without spending a lot of money on pesticides or equipment. So, what sort of pests are we talking about? Well, I don't have time to name them all, but we're basically talking about things like grasshoppers, cockroaches, crickets, mosquitoes, spiders, fleas, and pretty much any other kind of bug that might be hanging out on your lawn, in your garden, or on your ornamental plants. Before I get into it though, I want you to know that my goal is to save people money. So if you find this video helpful, please share it with someone you know who may also need to save a buck on pest control. Also, if you would like to see more of my videos, please click on that subscribe button as well. And don't forget to click on that little bell next to it so that you will get notified when I have another video published. Now, if you really like what I do, please show me a little love and click on that like button as well. Okay, so what is the best way to treat your lawn and your yard? Well, let's get right into it. Let's start by talking about what product you should use to treat your lawn and your yard. Well, there are certainly a lot of products out on the market today that can be used for this purpose. But I think the most cost-effective one, as of the time that I'm shooting this video anyway, is Bifin XTS. I will place a link in the description for it. This is a liquid pesticide that you can put in a common garden hose sprayer and simply water your lawn with it. Now, there are a lot of garden hose sprayers out there, but the one that I like to use is the Chapin G499 adjustable multi-purpose liquid concentrate sprayer. The reason I like this sprayer is because not only does it have a nice even flow for treating the lawn and also your plants, but it also has a really neat stream setting that will allow you to treat places that are as high up as 20 feet off the ground. Of course, this procedure will work pretty much with any hose end sprayer that you like to use. So if you already own a sprayer that you happen to be happy with, then just go ahead and use that one. Now I find that the Bifin XTS is best mixed before you apply it. But before we get into that, I want to remind you to always wear proper protective equipment. This would include closed shoes or boots, long pants, a long sleeve shirt, a hat, a good respirator, and eye protection. The reason I recommend buying a good respirator is because it is way more comfortable than wearing something like an N95 mask. They aren't that expensive, and I think you can get one from Amazon for around $20. And personally, I think they work better too. Now, the Bifin XTS is labeled to be mixed at 1/3 of an ounce per gallon of water. We could set the sprayer to use teaspoons, but that makes it hard to tell if it is actually coming through the siphon tube of the sprayer. So I recommend diluting it in the mixing cup at a ratio of 1 part Bifin XTS to 14 parts of water, or 1 ounce of Bifin XTS to 14 ounces of water. Since the sprayer that I am recommending holds 32 ounces, we can pour 2 ounces of Bifin XTS into the sprayer and then add 28 ounces of water, and that will give us 30 ounces in the sprayer container. At this dilution rate, you need to set the sprayer to 5 ounces per gallon of water. Now, if you have a sprayer that only uses tablespoons, and for the life of me, I don't know why they do that, because pesticides don't come in tablespoons, but it's another story. But if you have a sprayer that uses tablespoons, then you would set that sprayer at 10 tablespoons per gallon, because 2 tablespoons equals 1 ounce. Of course, we could add a dye to the concentrate so that you do not need to dilute it, but I do not like using dyes because I like to spray right over sidewalks, driveways, and that sort of thing. And I don't want to take any chances on discoloring the concrete. So by diluting the Bifin XTS at a ratio of 1 to 14 and setting the sprayer on 5 ounces per gallon, you're going to see the liquid in the sprayer container drop down fairly quickly. So you're going to know that it's working. I cannot tell you how many times I spent about 20 minutes spraying plain water before I realized that my sprayer wasn't working. I finally learned that using the sprayer at a faster dilution rate would solve this problem. Now, for me, I do not like to measure in the sprayer holding container. That is because there's always a little bit of the product left in the sprayer holding container when it's running dry and you need to refill it. And you would need to pour that material into a separate container so that the sprayer would be completely empty so that you can measure the correct amounts when you refill it. By using a measuring cup, you simply avoid this problem. So the first thing that I do is I measure out 2 ounces of the Bifin XTS in the measuring cup and pour it into the sprayer container. Then I measure out 28 ounces of water. The particular measuring cup that I happen to use does not hold 28 ounces. So I can only measure out 14 ounces at a time. So what I do is I pour it into the sprayer container 7 ounces at a time, and then I swirl it around a little bit to mix it up. It is not a good idea to shake the container because you are probably going to get the pesticide coming out of the top. By adding it a little bit at a time and swirling it around, you avoid the need to shake it to mix it. Before screwing the sprayer onto the holding cup, make sure that the siphon tube is securely seated into the sprayer head. If the siphon tube falls out, then you will be spraying plain water. Another reason I like this particular sprayer is because that tube has never popped out on me. It secures very nicely into the sprayer head. Okay, so just set the sprayer at 5 ounces per gallon or 10 tablespoons per gallon. connect it to the garden hose, and you are ready to go. Now, I told you that at this 5 ounce per gallon application rate, you're going to see the sprayer container drain down fairly quickly. So you're going to know it's working. But I'd like to give you just a little example of exactly what I'm talking about. Watch how quickly the liquid drains out of the holding container in this example. Now, I am not fast forwarding the video whatsoever. What you are seeing is the actual rate at which the product is being dispensed. If the product does not seem to be emptying out of the holding cup fairly quickly, then something is wrong and you need to stop and figure it out. If the siphon tube is solidly in place, then it could be that the screen on the end of the tube is clogged. Most of the time, the screen can be easily cleaned simply by running water over it. If the screen is clear, then put your finger over the bottom of the tube and turn on the water. If you do not feel suction, then it's not working and the sprayer is malfunctioning. Now, I'm sorry to say that if this happens, then there's a good chance you're going to need to replace that sprayer. To avoid that kind of a problem, always make sure that you clean the sprayer really well after each use. It's most likely going to clog anyway at some point, but you can extend its life if you clean it really well after each use. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Now that you have the product mixed and it's in the sprayer and it's attached to your garden hose, just set the sprayer for a downward fan spray and treat your entire yard. This includes your lawn, ornamental plants, your garden, sidewalks, patio, driveway, and all of that sort of thing. Everything from the house onto the property line. It is a good idea to soak the area of the ground really well where it meets the foundation of the house. I also treat up the side of the house about 24 to 36 inches. When spraying your lawn, you want to make sure that you use enough product. Most of the bugs are not hanging out on the top of the grass, so you want to do a really good job. It is always a good idea to mow your lawn prior to treatment. This is going to make it just easier for the pesticide to get way down to the roots of the grass, which is where you want it. Now, since I never use a dye in my sprayer, I kind of make a mental note, that is, I kind of make reference points to remember where I left off when I need to refill the sprayer. I use things like trees, bushes, expansion joints in the driveway, the edge of a building maybe, or any other kind of marker that you can think of. You can also carry around a small flag, stick, or anything else that you want just to lay on the ground so that you know where you left off. If you have a garden, try to avoid spraying directly onto the fruits and vegetables. Now, I mentioned before that you need to clean the sprayer really well after each use. To do that, just rinse out the holding cup with plain water and then fill it up about halfway. Rinse off the entire sprayer with water, then attach the cup to the sprayer and the sprayer to the garden hose, and then run water through all of the settings. to be sure that you have everything inside the sprayer rinsed out. Then simply dump the remaining water out of the sprayer and just reassemble it. It's really that easy. To make this application quicker and easier, I recommend that you buy 100 feet of one of those super hoses that you see advertised on TV all the time. They are lightweight and they make the job go a lot quicker and easier. Also, if you attach a quick disconnect to both the sprayer and the garden hose, it makes refilling the sprayer a lot easier and faster. These hoses need to have a shut-off valve at the end of the hose where the sprayer is located, so that you can shut the water off prior to removing the sprayer. Most of the hoses that you can buy today have this shut-off valve built in, but not all of them do. If you buy one that does not have a shut-off valve, then you need to add your own. And of course, I'm going to place a link for that item and all the other items that I mentioned in this video. Please note that these hoses should never be left outside in the sunlight because they deteriorate very quickly if you leave them outside in the sunlight. Okay, that's it for me today. If you found this video to be of assistance to you in any way, then please share it with a friend or family member. And if you would like to see more of my videos, then please click on that subscribe button. And don't forget to click on that little bell next to it so that you get notified when I have another video posted. Now, if you really like this video, then please show me a little love by clicking on that like button as well. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. And please do not hesitate to ask questions. Remember, I will answer any questions about any pest, anytime, for anybody, for free, even if I do not have a video on the particular pest in question. I am always here to help.